Hey art nerds, today we are taking a look at the Daniel Smith Watercolor Primatek set. I picked this set up at David Art Supply in New Orleans, Louisiana, and I paid about $40 for it. David's Art Supply is a local art supply store in the New Orleans area, and it's the only one left, so I do try to give it my support and my money when I can afford to do so. You can also find these watercolors, however, on Amazon, Dick Blick, and probably Jerry's Artorama. So I'm going to be testing them today on Blick Premier 100% cotton rag paper. What makes the Primatek watercolors so interesting is that they're made from actual earth pigments. Many of them are from precious and semi-precious stones, so they do tend to be a little more expensive. If you're looking for something a little more basic, I also have a review of the Daniel Smith Essential 6. That set was sent to me by my dear friend Kabocha, and I have the review and the field test here on this channel. So I hope you guys are ready to go ahead and get started. So for these kind of watercolor review videos, I like to do two types of tests. I like to test the watercolors directly from their tubes, and then I also like to test them dried out from half pans a little bit later on. Inside this box are 6 tubes of paint. We're going to be looking at Rhodonite Genuine, Mayan Blue Genuine, Jadeite Genuine, Hematite, Amethyst Genuine, and Piemontite Genuine. And I do have a couple of duplicates, so I will be sending the duplicates on to friends once I have finished this. So we have the tubes here. The first thing we're going to take a look at in this unbox and swatch is we are going to do the tube test. We're going to test these out in a couple of different ways. We are going to do a mass tone swatch. We're going to do 2 mass tone swatches. We're going to do one that's just a swatch of the color, one that's a swatch of the opacity. And then we're going to do some gradiated opacity tests. And hopefully this will tell you guys what you need to know about these watercolors to be able to use them most effectively. So the first thing I'm going to do, now normally I would do my dot tests here on the paper. I don't want to do that today. I'm going to put a small dot on my Ink Essentials craft mat. This is a silicone impermeated craft mat, so it shouldn't stain, it shouldn't absorb the color, and it works wonderfully as a bit of an impromptu palette. And I'm just putting a little dot of color on there. It does feel a little bit wasteful. Maybe I should have done it on some cheap watercolor paper and sent that off to a friend once I'd gotten what I needed. You know how it goes, though. Sometimes the best solutions appear after you've already made the commitment. It's okay, though. We're really not using that much paint. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to do a mass tone swatch, and then I'm going to do a mass tone opacity swatch, and then we're going to do a color gradation swatch. And this is beautiful cotton rag watercolor paper with lots of texture, lots of tooth. So any sort of sedimenting or color shift, duochrome properties, any sort of interesting things that Daniel Smith is kind of known for, we'll find out here and now if they show up in these paints. And I'll read all the colors for you guys again after we've completed our swatching. That's a beautiful purple. Just float some more in there. We're almost finished. Now, the Rhodonite Genuine is a color my friend Kabocha, who you guys have heard so much about on this channel, also a wonderful watercolor artist and a friend who really pushed me to start using Daniel Smith watercolors. So thank you so much, Kabocha, for that push, because it's been a wonderful journey. But this was a color, because I use Opera Rose on Cara pages sometimes for Naomi's clothes, and it was Kabocha who suggested that I use Rhodonite and actually sent me a large tube of it. Oh, that red's gorgeous. That's Piemontite red, and I actually have another tube of it, and it didn't look nearly this beautiful. I'm gonna swatch the other one because this is like a beautiful, almost a blood red. But Kabocha sent me Rhodonite, and yeah, look. They seem like they're very different. How interesting. So far, all the information is 1-to-1. Yeah, wow. I don't know. I know batches do change, but I also know that Daniel Smith is pretty consistent. So let's do this Piemontite over to the side. Take a look at that. But anyway, Rhodonite is one of those beautiful colors that performs quite lovely from the tube, but isn't quite as nice from, no, it's about the same color, maybe a little more brown. Not quite as red, but pretty much the same. So I'd swatched this just because I was swatching some other Daniel Smith colors I own. I swatched this, and I swatched it on cellulose paper, and it was not nearly as beautiful. And anyway, we're already getting some interesting sedimenting effects, especially with that Hematite Genuine. Beautiful, beautiful. In fact, all of them do have a nice degree of sedimentation. So I'm going to give this a chance to dry, and then I'll check in with you guys. Alright, so these are just about dry. I want to tell you guys a little bit more about Primatek paints. They are available in 15 milliliter tubes, 5 milliliter tubes, and watercolor sticks. And they are made from minerals that produce vibrant, luminous colors and include colors like Amethyst Genuine, Serpentine Genuine, and Rhodonite Genuine. So we're taking a look at a few of these today. Many of these do come from semi-precious and precious stones, which explains the higher price tag, but it may mean better light fastness, and it certainly means interesting working properties, as I think you guys can probably see here. So I'm going to go ahead and move these over as we read them. So this is Jadeite Genuine. This is Mayan Blue Genuine. This is Amethyst Genuine. This is Hematite Genuine. This is Rhodonite Genuine. And this is Piemontite Genuine. Just wanted to make sure I said it correctly. So up at the top, we have our mass tone swatches. You can see there's a bit of opacity to most of these colors. That would probably be because they are made from earth pigments, and earth pigments do have a tendency to be a little bit opaque. Then you guys can see the gradiated wash swatches. See, there's some lovely granulation going on with many of these colors, particularly Hematite Genuine. Rhodonite Genuine may be the closest you come to an opera rose or a hot pink color that's going to be light fast. But all of these are really beautiful colors, although I would not call this a mixing set. So our next step is to fill up some half pans, let them dry, and do a comparative swatch with that. Alright friends, for the next part of the program, we're going to be filling half pans with these Primatek watercolors. I'm sure you know how to do this. We're going to be using an Altoids tin. You can get empty half pans at all sorts of places, from David's Art Supply to Amazon to Jerry's Artorama. I ordered these from Amazon. They are empty Meeden pans. You can get 100 for like $15. And you can get a full Altoids tin for about $1.59. So, you know, it's like a little bonus. You get some Altoids with your watercolor palette. So I'm sure you guys know how to make your own palettes. I'm going to demonstrate it once, and then I'm going to fill the rest off camera. And I'm already sort of figuring out the lineup I want to use for this. I have other Primatek colors as well. So what I'm going to do is, for the swatch test, I'm only going to swatch these. But for the field test, I think I'm going to add the rest of the Primateks that I own to my palette and work with those. So what I like to do when I fill half pans is I like to give myself enough information that I can refill my half pan later. So I'm going to use a fine point Sharpie to write some information on the side. We're going to fit what we can, but I'm going to try to at least get Daniel Smith and Jadeite Genuine on the side of my half pan. You can also write it on the bottom, whatever works for you. But this is just so that I will be able to refill this palette if I happen to like these colors, and it helps me keep track of what I have in what palettes. So I'm going to use a bit of washi tape. You can also glue a magnet to the bottom. And I'm just going to, we have, let's see. Oh, we have plenty of room. And I'm going to fill it in the half pan. And then I'm going to allow all my paints to dry for several days. And we're going to see if they swatch differently when they're reconstituted from tube than if they reconstitute differently from a dried half pan. And some colors do shift pretty dramatically. So I'm going to go ahead and finish filling up the rest. So now that the palette is set up and labeled, all I have to do is wait for it to dry out. So I'll see you guys in a few days for the next part of our Unbox and Swatch review. Alright, so it's been several days since we filled these Primatek half pans. I have my original swatches here, so these are the ones from tube, and I am preparing to swatch them again. Alright, so I don't want to use a swirl brush. That's going to be a little too soft to do what I want. So I'm going to grab a synthetic. And I sort of resorted these into an order that I would like. And I'm going to be adding other Primatek colors to my Primatek palette. But, ooh, wow. That green is gorgeous. It reactivated very quickly. Like, I also didn't pre-activate these, which I probably should. But what a beautiful color. That might even be a little more saturated than what I got out of the tube. Okay, Mayan blue. That one might be a little bit weak. Like I said earlier in the video, when it comes to Primatek, some colors don't do as well when they're reactivated. Okay, there it goes. Just needed some time to wake up. Maybe I'll check in back with this one at the end of the video and see, since it's had a chance to absorb some water. Now I noticed that Amethyst Genuine has a beautiful natural shine to it, a little bit of iridescence, which should be surprising to no one. I mean, it is a quartz crystal, and if glass and sand shimmer, I don't know why it wouldn't, but it's beautiful and subtle. I love shiny, shimmery things, but I often don't paint with them for stuff I'm going to scan. I'll definitely use them for commissions, because that way the owner does get to see that, but I don't normally use them for things that are scanned. So here's Rhodonite, I believe, which I use regularly, and it's just never as beautiful. Oh, I don't know. It's a little more blue this time, but it's still pretty brilliant. And like I said earlier, this is a color my friend Kabocha turned me on to. Pretty nice. And again, this isn't really a set designed to be a mixing set. This is a set designed to just kind of turn you on to this type of watercolor. But I think I want to challenge myself to do a piece with these, as well as maybe a few of the other Primateks that I have. And then finally, that beautiful Hematite Genuine. Ooh, that also looks like one that might take a moment to wake up. And this is a beautiful sedimenting color from the tube, so it'll be interesting to see if we get that effect as much. There we go. Now you're waking up. It'll be interesting to see if we get that effect as much from the semi-moist or the dried out half pans. Okay, let's go revisit our friend Mayan Blue. Okay, it's a little bit better. Not as intense as directly from the tube, and this might just take a really long time to wake up. Now I do want to do a little bit of playing, just a little bit. I just want to see how these colors sort of mix together. I love that green. Jadeite green is gorgeous. Get you guys front row seats for the action. And I'm still painting on Blick cotton rag watercolor paper. I love this paper, you guys. Affordable, nice cotton rag paper. So it seems to take these colors just really well. I love that blend down there so much, I don't want to ruin it. So the only thing I think would be a real challenge for me with this set is that we don't have, I don't know if I have a yellow or a yellow ochre or anything lighter. I'm sure they do make yellows in the Primatek, so I may wait to do my field test until I've acquired a yellow that I can use with this. But that green is gorgeous. Piemontite red is just beautiful. Mayan blue is really nice. Amethyst Genuine is just phenomenal. A beautiful, beautiful color. And they all do interesting sedimentation sort of things. Or most of them do interesting sedimentation things. Some of them are not quite doing that from the tube, but the colors are just so nice. So I purchased this set from David's Art Supply in Metairie, Louisiana. and I really think you guys will enjoy it. So I look forward to seeing you guys when I have enough to do a bit of a field test. But I hope you guys found this video to be helpful, informative, and inspiring. I hope I was able to introduce you to a watercolor product or a watercolor color that you will love. And I hope I've spiked your interest, especially for those of you who might be interested in authenticity. I don't know if you can get much more authentic than painting with beautiful, semi-precious mineral pigments. Other than, I guess, grinding them yourself, which you can totally do. And people do it. And if you're interested in seeing someone do that, I believe Eve Bolt does that, and you should definitely check out her YouTube channel for more information on creating and grinding your own pigments. But I'll see you guys again really soon. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I'll see you again next time. Bye, guys.